In this video, we're going to go over curves in Blender. So I'm going to go ahead and delete my default cube here and do Shift A. And we're going to go down to where it says curve. We're going to add a circle, and I'm going to also do Shift A. I'm going to add a curve object. And so in this curve object, and even with my circle, one of the things you'll notice if you go into edit them is that they have these arrows going along the object. Those arrows show the direction because you can also use these to create paths. I'm going to go ahead and tab out here. And you can also take one curve and use a different curve to create a bevel for that object, or basically you think of it as kind of a skin. So if I go over to my properties editor and click on the little curve icon, and I'm going to make that a little bit larger, and if I go down to where it says geometry, I can go to where it says bevel object and select the circle, and here I have my circle object there. If I if I just scale this object, then I'll get this wherever I actually applied that. So for instance, if I go back into this object here and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that attachment for that curve, I'll put it back here. So that was larger than it was just a second ago. And so after it's applied, whatever you do to it will affect it as well. Same with if you take the curve over here and you scale it up or down, then that's also going to affect the object. So it's kind of a way of changing them. If I tab into the curve and I go here and click on this part of the curve and pull it, it'll actually change the way that my my other object looks. It'll change that silhouette that's extruded around it. You could also, if I get rid of that object, let's do Shift A, I'm going to add in a mesh, I'm going to add a plane, and let's use this plane as that object to follow along there. Problem is that a mesh can't be used as the bevel object, but if I click on my plane and I do Alt-C, I can convert that I can do curve from mesh or text, and then I can go over here, select it, go to where it says bevel object, select plane, and now I have that object selected there. Let's take that and scale it down a little bit. So now here I have this object following along. I could take my completed object and do do Alt-C, and then do mesh from curve. I can go over to my tools panel and go down to where it says recalculate. So I'm going to go to the, actually I want to tab into it first. Tab in, select everything, go down to shading and UVs, click on recalculate, tab out, and should look a little bit better for the shading and the way that that works. I was going to switch to cycles there. So anyway, that's one way you can do it. Another thing you can do with curves is you can use them as paths. So for instance, if we use a circle path, we can add an object that we have follow around it. So let's say I hit S to scale this way up. And then let's do Shift A, and let's put in a monkey head. There we go. Okay. So here I have my monkey head. It's centered in the center of the screen there. I'm going to go to where it says constraints. Okay, so I'm going to go down to this chain link one, add constraint, follow path, and then I'm going to select the path, which is a circle, and then I'm going to say animate. Now if I hit play, it'll just go around and around and around and around. If I wanted to, I could also get this to turn and follow another object. Since you're dealing with two different things working there and how they move, That could take a little fiddling, so I'm not going to do that right now. Although I could do Shift A. Let's add another mesh. Actually, we're going to go ahead and stop there with that one. Those are the general settings and how it works. And there we go. Using the track 2, I added another monkey head in the middle there. And I selected this one as the track 2 object. And so if I hit play, this will automatically rotate to follow that object. There's some other things we can do with that too as well. But you can also put cameras on tracks, although the camera is a little bit odd, and in doing that in past things, I've had to do lots of fiddling to get it to follow the way that I think it should. And so just kind of be aware that that might differ for different objects.